So here's a look at the numbers as things stand to this hour. Christy Clark's Liberals went from a 49-seat majority in 2013 to just 43 seats last night, 1 seat shy of a majority. John Horgan's NDP came a very close second with 41 seats, and it was a big election for the Green Party. Andrew Weaver made a significant breakthrough with 3 seats. But will the recounts change anything? The 3 leaders spoke just a few hours ago about the results.
Tonight, we won the popular vote. But British Columbians did tell us tonight that they want us to do some things differently. They want us to work together. They want us to work across party lines.
British Columbians have waited 16 years for a government that works for them, and we're going to have to ask you to wait a little bit longer until all the votes are counted. This is what we do know. A majority of British Columbians voted for a new government, and I believe that's what they deserve.
We're here to work with anybody. I see no reason why it can't last a full term. BC Greens know how to work with people and compromise. We're not in this for political gain. We're in this to ensure that good policy is put forward.
The leaders' reactions trying to put a positive spin on the results. So let's go right to Vancouver for you. Richard Zussman is our BC legislative reporter. He's been up all night, our election special. What are you at 8 hours and counting, Richard, as you've watched this evening? Thank you for being here with me this morning to give us this fascinating story, the results that we are seeing this morning and the uncertainty that remains in the province.
Yeah, good morning, Heather. It really is quite incredible. Just hearing you go through what happened early this morning and last night is just something, right? I've been working now 8 straight hours, so only now am I starting to really be able to figure out exactly what unfolded. There are still lots of people here in the newsroom. It's 3 o'clock in the morning in British Columbia, and there are still people working, trying to put this all together. You set up the table there. It really is quite an interesting scenario. Christy Clark, the Liberal leader, is still the Premier. She holds the most seats with 43, but now she must work with the Green Party because they have 3 seats. So that's what you need to get over the majority of 44 here in BC. There are 87 ridings in the province. So those negotiations haven't taken part yet. In any serious manner. I have spoken to members of both the Greens and the Liberals about phone conversations that took place early this morning. Andrew Weaver has spoken to both Christy Clark and John Horgan, and the conversations, Heather, were very similar. They were described as short, cordial, and Weaver says he's willing to work with either party. But he does have some deal breakers. The deal breakers are first on union and corporate donations to political parties. He wants to see them banned, and he will only work with the party that is willing to ban union and corporate political donations. Weaver also wants to reopen up discussions to have changes to electoral reform here in British Columbia. So that's what he comes to the table with to begin, and then the negotiations will unfold from there.
Interesting. So restating what I know he said, Richard, to CBC News in a Facebook Live just a week ago, open to anything. Those are his conditions, but open to anything, whether it be coalition, whether it be minority, and everything is still on the table as we speak this morning. So, as you see it, what's going to happen next?
The incredible thing, Heather, is that Facebook Live took place right here. It was him and I sitting here talking a week ago about this exact scenario, and now it's happened. So what happens next? It all comes down to the riding of Courtney Comox. You mentioned it. It was decided this morning, last night, whatever you want to call it, by just 9 votes. So now, a few things have to happen. The margin is so slim that there's going to be a recount no matter what. But we're also waiting for the absentee ballots. Those won't start to be counted until May 22nd. So that's in 12 days' time now when those ballots will be counted. And what makes this story even more interesting is the riding of Courtney Comox is where CFB Comox is, a military base for the Navy. And so many of the people who work there live in that community, but are out of country. So they would vote absentee. So we may see a huge number of absentee votes there. We're not really sure just yet. But another last final wrinkle in all of this, Heather, Jim Benninger, who's the Liberal candidate, that was a Liberal seat. They were hoping to win it. He's the former commander of CFB Comox. So we're going to find out how much his employees actually liked him because we're going to get a sense when we start looking at those absentee ballots, which will likely be people from CFB Comox, how well Benninger does. And that actually may mean that we don't have negotiations. If that riding, if the Liberals are able to pick up the 10 votes needed, that riding will flip. The Liberals will have 44. They'll have their majority. And I guess things will go on as normal. But after early this morning and last night, nothing really feels normal anymore in BC politics.